I was fortunate to have two fathers who taught me very different lessons. My own father, my poor dad, was a highly educated man. He had a PhD and held a high-ranking government position in education. He believed in the traditional path: go to school, get good grades, find a safe, secure job, and work hard for your paycheck. He often struggled with money, despite his good salary, and believed that the love of money was the root of all evil. He advised me to study hard so I could find a good company to work for. His world was one of academic achievement and job security, but it was also a world filled with financial worry and the constant fear of not having enough. My other father, my best friend's dad, was my rich dad. He never finished the 8th grade. He was an entrepreneur who built a business empire from nothing. He taught me about money in a way I never learned in school. He believed that the lack of money was the root of all evil. He advised me to study hard so I could find a good company to buy. Rich Dad's lessons were not found in textbooks but in real-world experiences. He taught me how money works, how to make it work for me, and how to build wealth. His perspective was about financial freedom, not just job security. He wanted me to understand the system, not just be a cog within it. The difference between my two dads was not their income, but their mindset. Poor Dad lived in a world of financial scarcity, always saying, "I can't afford it." This statement shut down his brain. It was an end to any thought or problem solving. Rich Dad, on the other hand, forbade those words. He insisted I ask, "How can I afford it?" This question opened up my mind. It forced me to think, to search for solutions, and to be creative. This simple shift in language created a profound difference in their financial lives and in the lessons they passed on to me. Their opposing viewpoints gave me a powerful choice. These two contrasting philosophies shaped my entire life. I learned that what you believe about money becomes your reality. If you believe you must work hard for every dollar, you will. If you believe you can create systems that generate money for you, you will. The lessons in this book come from the wisdom of my rich dad. They are designed to challenge the conventional advice given by many well-meaning but financially struggling parents and teachers. It is about waking up your financial genius and taking control of your financial future, regardless of your current income or education level. The choice is yours. The most important lesson my rich dad taught me was simple yet revolutionary. The rich don't work for money. This sounds strange to most people because we are all taught to go to school to get a good job and earn a salary. My poor dad lived by this rule. He worked tirelessly for his paycheck, but the more money he made, the more his expenses grew, and the more he was trapped. This is what I call the rat race. It's a cycle of working for money, paying bills, and having little left over, forcing you to keep working harder and harder just to stay in the same place. It is a trap of fear and desire. Rich Dad explained that the poor and the middle class work for money. Their lives are often run by two emotions: fear and greed. The fear of not having money keeps them in their jobs. Then, when they get their paycheck, greed or desire kicks in. They see all the wonderful things money can buy, and they spend it. This pattern forces them back to work, driven again by fear. They become slaves to their paychecks. The rich, however, have a different approach. They have learned how to make their money work for them. They are not controlled by the fear of being without money because they know how to generate it without trading their time for it. So, how do you make money work for you? You do this by acquiring assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, whether you are actively working or not. Think of it like planting a money tree. You do the work once to plant the tree, and then you nurture it. Eventually, that tree starts producing fruit or income on its own. Examples of assets include real estate that generates rental income, stocks that pay dividends, or a business that runs without your constant presence. The goal is to build a portfolio of these money-producing assets. Your money becomes your employee, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make more money for you. This is the fundamental secret of the wealthy. They spend their lives building and acquiring assets, while everyone else spends their lives working for a paycheck and acquiring liabilities they think are assets. Instead of waking up every day to go to a job you may not even like, imagine waking up to check how much money your assets have earned for you while you slept. This is not a fantasy. It is the result of financial education and a shift in focus. Stop chasing the paycheck. Start building your column of assets. It is the first and most critical step to getting out of the rat race and onto the path of financial freedom. One of the most dangerous pieces of advice is that your house is an asset. My poor dad believed this. He poured money into his home, thinking it was his greatest investment. But Rich Dad taught me the truth. Your house is not an asset, it is a liability. The simple definition is key. An asset puts money in your pocket, and a liability takes money out of your pocket. Your primary residence takes money out of your pocket every single month through mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. It doesn't generate income, it consumes it. This misunderstanding is a primary reason why many people struggle financially. Financial literacy is the ability to understand this simple difference. It is the foundation of building wealth. If you don't know the difference between an asset and a liability, you can't possibly build a strong financial future. You will spend your life buying liabilities that you think are assets. A new car, a boat, the latest electronics. These are all liabilities. They lose value the moment you buy them and continue to cost you money. The rich focus on building their asset column. They use their income to buy things that will generate more income. The poor and middle class use their income to buy things that create more expenses. The cash flow pattern tells the whole story. For a poor person, income comes in from a job and goes straight out to pay for taxes, rent, food, and other necessities, leaving nothing behind. For a middle-class person, income from a job goes to pay for a mortgage, car loans, and credit card debt, their liabilities. They have more expenses, so they are trapped in a bigger rat race. For a rich person, their assets, like rental properties, dividend stocks, and businesses, generate income. This income pays for their liabilities, and the leftover cash is reinvested into buying more assets. Their assets grow, their income grows, and they become financially independent. This is why financial education is more important than a fancy degree or a high-paying job. Schools teach us how to be good employees and earn a salary, but they don't teach us what to do with that money once we have it. They train us to be academically and professionally smart, but not financially smart. You can be a brilliant doctor or lawyer, but if you don't understand how to manage your money, you can still end up poor. Learning to read a financial statement, an income statement, and a balance sheet is the most crucial skill you can develop. It is the report card of your financial life. Many people confuse their profession with their business. My poor dad would say, "I am a teacher." He identified his profession as his entire financial world. Rich Dad taught me that you should mind your own business. Your profession is what you do to earn a paycheck to pay the bills. Your business is your asset column. It is what you build and invest in to achieve financial freedom. So, while you work your day job, as a teacher, a doctor, a pilot, or a salesperson, you must also be building your own business on the side. Your profession pays the bills, but your business is what will make you rich. Minding your own business means focusing your energy and spare cash on acquiring real assets, not just working harder at your job for a small raise. Keep your daytime job, be a hard-working employee, but start buying assets, not liabilities. Your business revolves around your asset column, not your income column. What kind of assets should you acquire? It depends on what interests you. I started with real estate. I love properties. Other people love stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. Some people build businesses. The key is to acquire assets that you understand and are passionate about. Think of it this way. McDonald's founder, Ray Kroc, was once asked what business he was in. The students laughed when he replied, "My business is real estate." They thought he was in the hamburger business. But Ray Kroc knew that his profession was selling hamburger franchises, while his business was accumulating the valuable real estate underneath those franchises. The primary business of McDonald's today is one of the largest real estate portfolios in the world. This is the mindset of minding your own business. You have a profession, but you must also build your true business, your portfolio of income-generating assets. So don't spend everything you earn. Every dollar that comes into your hands has the power to shape your future. You can choose to spend it on a liability, which makes someone else rich. You can use it to buy an asset, which makes you rich. Start small. Use a portion of your paycheck, no matter how small, to buy an asset. It could be a single share of a dividend-paying stock or saving up for a down payment on a small rental property. Over time, as your asset column grows, it will generate more and more income, eventually freeing you from the need to work for a paycheck at all. So, originally, in places like Britain and the United States, there were actually no income taxes. Taxes were only levied temporarily, to pay for wars. However, in 1913, the 16th Amendment was passed in the United States, making income tax a permanent fixture. The tax was initially meant only for the rich. The idea was sold to the masses as a way to punish the wealthy. The poor and middle class, they voted for it, believing it would only affect the rich. But the government's appetite for money grew, and soon the tax burden trickled down to the very people who voted for it, the middle class and the poor. The rich, however, quickly found ways to protect their wealth from heavy taxation. They were financially smarter. They understood the power of the law and used it to their advantage. One of the biggest legal secrets of the rich is the corporation. A corporation is a legal structure that creates a separate entity from its owner. It's not a building or a group of people. It's really just a legal document that allows you to conduct business. The rich use corporations to shield their assets and minimize their tax obligations in a way that an individual employee simply cannot. It's about playing the game of money by the rules that the rich created. Here is the fundamental difference in cash flow. An employee earns money, gets taxed on that income first, and then tries to live on what is left. The government takes its share before you even see it. It is an earn, pay taxes, spend model. A corporation, on the other hand, follows a different model. The corporation earns money, spends everything it can on business expenses like salaries, travel, and supplies, and is then taxed on whatever profit is left over. It is an earn, spend, pay taxes model. This simple reordering of events makes a world of difference in how much wealth you can accumulate over time. And, just to be clear, this isn't about illegal tax evasion. It's about legal tax avoidance, using the tax code as it was written. The government provides tax incentives for business owners and investors to encourage them to create jobs and housing. By owning a corporation that invests in real estate or other businesses, you can take advantage of deductions and loopholes that are not available to employees. This is a crucial piece of financial intelligence. It's not just about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. Understanding the power of corporations is essential for anyone serious about building significant wealth. Financial intelligence is not just about knowing the rules of money. It's about being creative and, seeing opportunities that others might miss. My rich dad always said that your mind is your single most powerful asset. If you train it well, it can create enormous wealth. This is really the essence of the fifth lesson. The rich invent money. They don't just look for jobs or wait for opportunities to fall into their laps. Instead, they create opportunities. This is often done by putting together deals, finding value where others see junk, and solving problems that other people just can't. It requires both financial knowledge and boldness. One way to invent money is to see value where others do not. For example, I have made millions from the real estate market by finding properties that are undervalued or in foreclosure. While others see a rundown house and a problem, I see an opportunity. With a little bit of money and some work, that house can be fixed up and sold or rented for a profit. The value was not created out of thin air, it was unlocked. It required seeing the potential, knowing the market, and having the courage to make an offer. This creative process is a form of inventing money because you are creating a profitable asset from a situation that most people would ignore. Another way to invent money is by creating a solution to a common problem. Entrepreneurs do this every day. They identify a need in the market and build a business to fill that need. Facebook was created to connect people. Amazon was created to make shopping more convenient. These businesses created billions of dollars in wealth by solving problems on a massive scale. You don't have to be a tech genius to do this. You can start a small business in your local community that solves a local problem. The principle is the same. Find a need and fill it. the money will follow the value you create. Developing this skill requires two main things: financial education and experience. You need the education to understand the numbers, to structure deals, and to recognize opportunities. But you also need the experience of actually doing it. You will make mistakes. I have made many, but each mistake is a learning opportunity. The fear of making a mistake is what paralyzes most people. They are so afraid of losing money that they never take a calculated risk. The rich know that failure is part of the process of success. They play the game to win, and they are not afraid to stumble along the way. Your financial genius awakens when you are bold, creative, and willing to learn from your experiences. My poor dad was loyal to his employer his entire life. He believed in climbing the corporate ladder within one company or one profession. He valued job security above all else. My rich dad had a different philosophy. He recommended that I work to learn, not just to earn. He told me that in my early years, the skills I acquired were far more valuable than the salary I was paid. He encouraged me to take jobs in different fields to gain a broad range of skills, especially in sales, marketing, and communication. He knew that a combination of skills is more powerful than specializing in just one thing. Most people become specialists. They become very good at one thing, like being a doctor, a pilot, or a mechanic. This can lead to a high income, but it can also be a trap. If your specialty becomes obsolete, or if the demand for it decreases, your income is at risk. You become fragile. The world is changing rapidly, and what is valuable today may not be valuable tomorrow. Working to learn means you are building a foundation of diverse skills that make you adaptable and resilient. The most important skills for financial success are sales, marketing, accounting, investing, and leadership. These are the skills of a business owner and an investor. Look for jobs based on what you will learn, not just what you will earn. If you are shy, take a job in sales to learn how to communicate and overcome fear of rejection. If you don't understand numbers, take a basic course in accounting. These skills will pay you dividends for the rest of your life, long after the paycheck from that job is gone. I worked for Xerox for a few years, not for the pay, but to learn how to sell, one of the most important skills for any entrepreneur. The ability to sell, whether it's a product, a service, or yourself, is critical to success in any area of life. The goal is to become a generalist in the core skills of business.